Welcome to a new episode of Not Too Deep. I'm your host, Grace, and Helbig the First. We have half of the Valleyfolk here with us today. We have Elliott Morgan and Joe BERETA, and it's just a gosh dang lovely episode. Also, Joe brought his child is muttering around in the background if you hear anything. It added a lot of flavor to the episode. Also, I think this might be the first time that Elliott's ever actively listened to anything that Joe has said out of his mouth. So it's a very educational episode for all of us. Enjoy this very fun, sarcastic, silly, dumb, child-friendly episode of Not Too Deep with Joe BERETA and Elliott Morgan.
Not too deep.
This episode of Not Too Deep is brought to you by Squarespace. Turn your great idea into a reality with Squarespace. They make it easier than ever to launch your passion project, whether you're showcasing your work or selling products of any kind. They have beautiful templates and the ability to customize just about anything. You can easily make a beautiful website all by yourself, but if you get stuck, Squarespace's 24/7 award-winning customer support is there to help. Go to squarespace.com/grace for a free trial, and when you are ready to launch, use the offer code GRACE to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Not too deep. Not too deep. With Grace Helbig.
My brother told me that turtles have little living rooms in their shells.
Yeah, you believe that for a long time.
I believe that for an uncomfortable amount of time.
Yeah, that feels
till
like
I was well into adulthood.
Yeah, so
after I had my zoology degree,
Till I was
still
well
kinda
into this
thought-
week, up until Tuesday, actually.
Yeah, until you actually looked in the shell. Why did he do that? That seems like a very
He's a bad person.
Well, that's also a very harmless
It's
lie.
so adorable.
Have we started?
We started!
Hey!
The time.
We have one half
Restarted.
of the Valleyfolk here.
I mean, if we're being
Ish.
honest, it's like 2/3.
Yeah,
Wow.
Kevin makes up
Yeah, I mean, as far as
1/3, and we make up the other 2/3.
gravitas that is brought into the equation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay.
Sex appeal.
I'll let
Yeah,
you guys
Kevin has
go.
most of it.
Kevin has most of the sex
Yeah.
appeal.
Okay, well, I should have fucking booked Kevin. Jesus.
You should have.
I know.
Mistakes.
He's
yeah.
a
You can go through
very
us for
high
that.
priority. Joe, you're the only member of the Valleyfolk that hasn't been on this podcast yet.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Steve
Yeah.
was on it
Steve was on it. That's how we found out that he got divorced.
in the moment.
In real time on the podcast. And he was like, I got divorced a couple months ago and I've been losing weight. And we all went, huh? What? You were married? Okay.
I bet he was a delight. Was he a delight?
He was a goddamn delight. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then I deflected and went back to talking about, like, what body part would you most want to be made out of hot dogs?
That's crazy.
I understand all that
anyway.
heavy stuff, but also boop, bop, boop, bop, boop, boop, boop.
Well, anyway, I'm happy you're here.
Thank you for having me.
I left it up to you guys because we can't really, it gets a little chaotic to have more than 2 guests at a time.
I bet.
So I left it up to you guys to decide which groupings you would
Hold on, I
do.
gotta
How
move.
did that
I'm in
happen?
the vagina of this couch.
I lied
You make
to
yourself
them.
comfortable. Okay.
I lied to Joe and the
You
others.
did lie to me. You straight
Yeah,
up
I
lied
was
to me.
like,
That's-
Grace said she wants me and Joe, and Lee and Steve will do it.
Oh, so you played God.
I thought it'd be fun to do like a yin yang thing because Joe and I are like I would say quieter members, and
Okay.
and
so you
then-
mean a yin yang, not within each other, but a yin yang.
I mean, like
within
the twins.
A duo yang.
yeah, do it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Got it. That's
Cool.
what he means.
And that's the kind of hot stuff you can look forward to in this
Get
episode.
ready,
folks.
buckle up, everybody.
Wow.
We're going 15 miles per hour
Yeah, it's really
towards a brick wall.
very fun.
I like when guests preemptively let us know that they're about to be extraordinarily boring.
Obnoxious.
for
Oh,
the
boring.
next
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
hour.
you.
Okay, here's
Expectations are set.
We've been doing this podcast for 5 years, and I've developed a new way in which I open up the conversation with guests. And it's a question that I think is really poignant, and it is, what's your deal?
Huh.
This has become my new way to polarize an audience.
Is
What's
this
your deal? It's an aggressive question.
It is.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's heavy too, if depending on the guest. Real quick, is your podcast favoring more of the auditory listeners or the visual?
Both. We just started doing the visual stuff, so you can play to wherever
So
you see most fit.
This is it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we shoot on an iPhone. I don't know if you've heard how successful I am on YouTube.
Ooh.
But that's an iPhone 6,
Yep.
so things are going pretty
we're
good.
shooting specifically only in portrait mode. So
Good, good.
only
Because,
this will be in focus in the
It's
corner.
just one long Instagram story.
Yeah. It's not a secondary iPhone. It's her iPhone.
Yeah, I really do admire that, like, because we have a crappy like Mevo camera that we use
Stop
that
it.
makes it's terrible, and
Okay.
I hate it very much, and it makes us look like we're in a fishbowl. And this is like better, and it's an iPhone, and it is not a Mevo.
And that's Elliott's deal.
Hey, Joe, what's your deal? Next up on What's your deal?
No, I'm gonna let you go first because, dude, you know where I can go. I can go like crazy heavy. with
Yeah,
my
and
deal.
Joe's got a lot of deals, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like the question is so aggressive that I need to answer it defensively. So I'm just gonna say, I don't know. I'm just kind of trying to do my thing and have a good time with my friends and have fun, and it's going fun this year.
Whoa, okay.
You literally shook.
Yeah.
I saw you tremble.
going well since?
Oh, this is a
was
self-induced stroke.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's my deal. Yeah.
Yeah, my deal. Since I haven't been here before, been doing YouTube
Yeah.
for 12 years.
I know. You are literally like the foundation of YouTube, and I don't think a lot of people remember or recognize
I'm not
that.
the foundation, but
Well,
I got
you're
to
in
watch
the-
it be built, and
Right.
I've been like kind of orbiting it since.
Sure.
You were in the neighborhood when
Which
the
is really
building was going
fun.
up. That's cool.
Yeah, I've been doing it
you
for a
went
long
to
time.
the whatever cutting ceremony.
Yeah,
The-
the whatever cutting.
The ribbon cutting.
Hey, we didn't
What's
tell you it was
The
a
whatever
ribbon.
thing?
Like we could have cut anything, but it's a ribbon.
The ribbon.
Before this podcast, Grace was like, I'm going to lean in heavily into Joe. And I was like, definitely
Thank you,
do
Grace.
that.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I've talked
I
to this
also know
person too
that-
much now, so I
yeah,
know everything.
we have no.
Why?
I don't know. It's a weird. We have a group text.
Not cool, dude.
Wait, I don't get
Dude,
what.
not cool.
Is there some?
Not cool.
Is there some? Are you,
We have common
We
interests.
keep our private lives off of social media.
both,
You know this.
You both really like Elliot.
Yeah, we're both big fans of Elliot.
I don't know if you understand this, but
I get
2019 turns out Elliot Morgan exists in the
They're
universe.
gonna,
That's very sweet.
they're gonna throw up a graphic. They'll tell you everything.
Yeah,
Go
that'd be
watch the
great.
YouTube because you're not gonna see that on the audio one.
Okay, here's a question that a lot of people asked us to that I'm curious about. What was your guys' first impression of each other? Do you remember the day that you met?
Yes, I remember meeting Joe. It was at an audition for SourceFed.
Oh wow.
in a rundown Hollywood, not rundown, but like
Spaceship. This is what it was called.
Spaceship.
Casting Studios.
yeah, it's
Or
one of
something
those
that.
like many empty cavernous high rises in Hollywood where you go in and you throw everything on the line, which we did.
Yeah.
In the same moment.
Wow. Wait, did you audition together?
Did we read together? I can't remember.
I don't think we did. We walked out together though. I remember
Yeah.
the moment we like walked out of the building hand in hand.
Purposefully?
And yeah, purposefully.
Okay.
Yeah, through the doorway at the same time. We got stuck. It was a little vaudeville routine we did, and that's when we
Cute.
knew we loved each other. But no, my first impression of Joe was like literally being like, this guy is like really nice. And
Because I was
Like,
assuming
genuinely
he was
nice.
a giant bitch.
well, like
What's what you do in Hollywood,
oh
right?
yeah.
You walk
Yeah.
out.
Assume the
We were-
worst.
we
I was
were-
so I got nervous on every. I
were
really
going-
cared back then.
We were gunning for the same spot, unbeknownst to
so
each
you,
other,
Oh,
right?
you didn't know that you were auditioning for the same thing.
I mean, we knew that
Ish.
we were auditioning
Same
for the same
project.
thing,
Yeah.
but you go into those, not to get into the industry crap too much because that's
Yeah.
boring, but you walk into these things, usually it's with a bunch of people that looks just like you.
Oh yeah, you really get a smack in the face of what you represent to the world
Yeah,
when you go
exactly.
to like commercial
Yeah.
auditions and that sort of thing.
I, for instance, am beer commercial guy.
And I go out for a lot of cell phone commercials.
Oh, there you go.
What do you go out for? Where did you get?
I go out for a lot of like flaky, flighty mistress.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Flaky,
like
flighty
sexy PR business independent woman, and I just
Having
go in and
sex
go
on the
"Oh."
side with married guys.
Yeah. I go in for loose morals, loose. There's a child in the room, so never mind.
He's fine. He was created with
Oh
loose
no, he's heard
morals.
Yeah.
the worst things. Yeah,
He's totally good.
one of those loose things. He's created from one of those loose things.
Those loose morals.
So-
oh wait, so to go
So
back,
you guys left at the same time.
we left at the same time. I remember thinking the same thing. Nice guy, but then I called my wife immediately, and I
and
was
said,
like,
"I'm leaving
I'm
you.
leaving.
I met
found-
someone."
He's amazing.
It was fine. Everything went great. There's a girl named Lee. She touches everybody a lot. It's really
She
weird.
touched me so inappropriately, and then I learned that it's just who she is.
Yeah,
And
she's the
I
type
was,
of
this was
human.
the first
language.
time in audition where I've been like, "What's happening?
Yeah.
Do I need to leave?" Like you're
Immediate,
so
like she's just assumed familiarity.
Yeah.
Immediately to
Humans
the
are
point where it's
cats.
like,
Yeah.
like you can't again watch
Yeah.
the video, but it's
like, at an audition, like waiting to go in, and it was she would just be like, "So did you write that
Yes.
thing?" And I was
Yes.
like, I don't.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't.
So
I
we knew we
can't
were
talk
getting
to you.
into it. But I got on the phone with her and I was like, yeah, just finish it up, blah, 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 blah. And there's this guy named Elliot and it's fine. And I was like, I'm gonna crush him.
You said to your
I
wife
was like,
that you're gonna.
I've got this in the bag.
Is this true?
Yeah, I told you that.
Wow.
Yeah, I got it.
Wow.
And turns out
I also had an
you were both
in.
in that bag.
Wow.
I had an in.
Oh yeah,
with
you knew
SourceFed.
Phil before.
I didn't really know Phil. I knew Kevin Bruick, who's very close with Phil,
Right.
and he was kind of helping out with the casting, and he's the reason that I knew that they were doing it. And at
Yeah.
the time, I was working at the Griddle, again, another Hollywood thing that we don't need to get into, which is just big ass pancakes, and doing
thought you were
Beretta
gonna say- Oh, okay.
on the side, making money for my family at the time. And I was
Right.
like, SourceFed came around, and I was at a point in my life
And
where
you're
I was
gambling.
like,
It was
and
for
I
your
was
gambling.
in debt.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I need to take a chance. And then SourceFed was kind of like the risk. It was a jump.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because we never knew it was going to become what it became.
No, we all thought it was going to be 6 months.
And how long was it? 2 years? 3 years?
Well, I left 2
5
years
years?
in, and then you left about 6 months after that, and then Lee was out by it lasted like 4 years, 5 years, 6?
5. SourceFed in various iterations lasted 5 to 6 years.
Jesus.
Elliot left after 2, and I left after 3.
I pieced out. Yeah.
It's insane. I don't think people really recognize like how much work went into the content that you guys make. 'Cause I remember I got
lot.
invited to come in one day, and it was like, we've been here since 6 a.m. And I was like, you guys are stupid. and then you guys sit like in a real writer's room and pitch ideas and then literally write them up and shoot it. And it's a product that's made like in-house in a couple hours. It's insane how much you guys made.
Literal hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first one would be like shot entirely by 7 a.m. and it wouldn't have been written until we got in at 6. So it was written and shot in an hour and then uploaded by 9 a.m. was the first video.
The typical day
It was
for the
9/11 one. Yeah.
Yeah, the typical day for the first 2 years was show up at 6. The three of us would show up at 6. Steve Zaragoza of the Valleyfolk jumped in 7-8 months down the line. We would show up at 6.
It was a coattail situation.
We
Sure.
would post 5 videos in a day. Those 5 videos would be researched, quote fingers, regurgitated into script, shot and edited, and posted all of them by like 5 p.m.
Yeah.
by the three of us and 2 editors.
Yeah.
That was the
That's
other
so
thing.
nuts.
Yeah, it was groundbreaking.
Jesus. I'm going to kill myself.
It truly shaped the digital space that we all get to exist in and profit off of
I'm going
today.
to stab myself in the
Thank
ears.
you guys. What was it? Because that's insane. That schedule's nuts, but also conducive to efficiency and productivity. What was it like after you guys left?
This
Did
is
you-
fun. This is like an actual like interview.
Yeah,
This is
what do you
cool. We should
think
try
this
something like this. We should do like a
I
structured.
really feel like you guys have like a chemistry going between you two. Like,
I think people are going to say the same thing.
I'm like really surprised.
It's more of a biology.
Yeah, I feel. Yeah, I get it. Let's see.
So,
I don't know. I don't know what's
How-
going on here, but
okay,
like,
basically, how lost were
I'm in
you?
for it. Afterwards?
Yeah.
I think there's 2 different paths. I'll let Elliot go. I feel he was a little more lost than I was.
I got confused as to what your question was. I'm sorry. What did you say?
After you guys were done with such an intense schedule, what was it like when you left and you had free time and you didn't have to be in an office at 6 a.m.?
After we left SourceFed?
Yeah.
Very like I don't know. This is like a serious answer, but it was very like because I left, it was always like should I have not left, and so I was very haunted by it for a very long time. Very
About
just
if you made the right decision.
yeah, and
Because
constantly
we were still skyrocketing. We actually had a big jump after Elliot left.
Yeah, it actually took off. It was only
People
after
were like,
I left.
finally, that
Yeah.
guy's out.
And
I
was
can
like,
resubscribe to this.
Exactly, yeah, and I bet there were those who did that, and they're the good ones. Yeah, I just remember being like, I don't want to only do this one thing, or be known for this one thing, and and then I started doing stand up, and I loved stand up very much, and then I got divorced, and that became my full time job. Was
And
just
most of your stand-up.
going through a divorce, yeah, and most of my stand up, yeah, it was the gift that kept giving,
Yeah.
and so that was what I did, and then it was kind of like SourceFed ended, and then odd job to odd job, and then divorce where I blacked out for 2 years. I popped out, and then we all got back together again.
Yeah, that was
That
your
was
journey.
my some stuff happened in between, but
A true hero's journey. Wow.
You were
yeah,
do-
isn't
Yeah.
that beautiful?
Elliot was doing the I don't mean to speak for you, but I'm going
Please
to. So
do,
I
Joe.
totally
Yeah.
mean to speak for you. You were doing the classic struggling to make it, finding a
hustle.
way to make ends meet hustle in LA, but he was doing it less in the realm of going to like mainstream auditions and more on YouTube. Like, you're doing like a weird YouTube hustle
Did all sorts of
at the same time because you're doing mental floss and
searching.
Mashable and all the
Oh,
other
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
alliteration
yeah,
things. Mattel, I think you were
Mattel.
doing Mattel.
yeah. Mike
Yeah.
and Molly, I did a
lot
short,
of
short
mastication.
stints
Yeah.
on. Yeah,
Mike
a lot of
and
masturbation
Molly.
and masturbation was
Yes,
the
for sure.
Oh, okay.
and then-
What a What a ride.
He looks
Sorry,
back on
Jackson.
it fondly. He's
Fondlingly.
yeah. Jackson's not paying attention. Jackson's my son.
Jackson's here. And
He's over in the other room.
He's probably creating the best content out of anyone in this room right now.
Can you ask Jackson what his deal is?
Jackson, what's your deal? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that sounds
Cool.
about right. Whatever it is.
You
is
gotta-
right.
Yeah,
embarrassed.
you got to avoid authority. I fully respect that and support that. What happened to you after you left SourceFed?
I went the opposite route. I left
thrived.
SourceFed. I didn't know. Yeah, I thrived. I left SourceFed.
Marriage got great.
I got married again.
Super successful.
I have 17
Saved
marriages. I left with opportunity in hand. I kind of was at a point in life that it was a mini midlife crisis where I realized this could either be correct or wrong, that at some point people weren't going to want to watch me in front of the camera. So I wanted to go behind the camera and be able to produce and learn and flex those skills and build those muscles. And I got offered a creative director gig at Smosh.
Oh, yeah.
Smosh.
Heard of him.
Internet giants.
Rhett and Link Smosh.
Yeah.
As brought by Rhett and Link.
Yeah, right. Rhett and Link Smosh now. And I was there for 3 years just making shows and hiring.
Yeah, you and I have a very hilarious DM chain back
What did
and
I
forth.
ask you to be on? I forget.
10 different things.
Yeah.
It was always a very sweet, pleasant, hey, how are you? Would you fly up to San Francisco and shoot this thing? And me, like, 4 days later going, oh man, sorry, I can't do it. And then 2 months later, be like, hey, how are you?
To be fair,
Trust me, I respected your hustle. I really honestly tried to make it all work. Every time, I'd never lied to you that I can remember.
well, you didn't
about
lie because you
avoiding.
didn't reply.
Oh
most
yeah,
of the time.
yeah. That's not lying if you're
Ain't
not
no reply.
replying.
Ain't no lie if there ain't no reply.
We didn't know each other. Like I'm cold.
We knew
I'm
of
like-
each other, but that's
Yes.
also how like the whole ether system community seemed to work. That you go up and you talk to someone, and that's literally how we operated this podcast for the first 3 years. Is me just DMing people and going, "Will you come to my house and talk to me?"
Pulling back the curtain
Please.
on Grace and I's relationship. I don't know what you two have going, but then I talk about me and Grace
How
for
dare
a
you.
second. This is like 99.99% of all of our conversations that we've ever
Yeah.
had.
Yeah.
Grace and I were talking earlier
Ever.
before
Like,
this
this is-
podcast. Joe,
But
I'll
it's
take it from
also-
here. I'll take it from here, Grace. But we were like, oh, it's fun because like we want to all hang out. But I was like, oh, the first time we're hanging out as a unit,
Right.
it's like on
record.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fully on record.
It's a
Try
very
and
real
make it
moment.
It's a
authentic.
we're a little on right now.
Yeah, we're trying to get to know each other, and also and I'm also very like
What do you
No,
think?
but-
40%? We're about 40% on. I think
But-
we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, no, this is casual.
we're
This
less
is-
on than normal for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that is, I know. You guys are, God bless your souls. I love Hannah and Mamrie very deeply and very much, and I have deep respect for themselves
Who?
as humans. Hannah
Hart and
Hart and
Mamrie
Mamrie Hart.
Who?
They're also
The Hearts?
content creators. Joe,
Heart
listen,
Foundation?
I know you're new to YouTube, but
Yeah, the sassy redhead, and then the one that looks like Tyler Oakley.
that's very funny. Have you told her that? That's fun.
Yeah, no, I don't have to tell her. Other people have told her.
That was really good. She goes into all the auditions that Tyler Oakley is at.
Yeah, the ones
Yeah.
that Tyler passes on. She goes, I got one for you. I'm available. But we've all kind of collectively, as creators that work together a lot, have figured out that we can spend a certain amount of time together. And then we all have to like go our own ways to tolerate each other.
VidCon.
Yeah.
I see where you're going with this, Grace, and I don't feel comfortable.
All right. And then I'll pivot. So
No, keep it going,
Which
keep it
member
going.
of the Valleyfolk do you hate the most and why?
Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin for sure, because
okay.
he's
Our
better
editor.
than all of us.
Yeah.
He does the Lord's work, truly.
He really does. He's the glue.
But what was the conversation? I think I've asked you guys this separately before. Like, what was the initial conversation when you guys left that you were like, we're all just flopping around. What if we do something together?
It was like that scene in Mighty Ducks 2, D2,
You guys formed a flying V.
when the character Averman is finding like the fourth member of the Mighty Ducks team, and he says the quack attack is back, Jack. You all recall, and
Some of the greatest cinematic writing in our history.
it's Citizen Kane level, and it was basically I just really needed a job, and like I felt like I think other people also. And
I
then-
think you needing a job ended up being that became the catalyst for the thing that we all wanted to do. Like,
Yeah.
Elliot pushed a lot from behind the scenes at the start, again, because he was struggling and he was in debt and he was hurting and he had no direction in life. And
It's the most honest.
He really had.
Good God, Joe.
We felt sorry for his lack of potential.
Yeah, he knew he was limited and he'd hit his ceiling.
He was at what we would consider rock bottom and wouldn't get out of our lives.
Yep.
Yeah.
More or less, yeah. I
but
mean,
that's where it was at, and this is something that
was
we
a bad
always
place, yeah.
wanted to do. We knew it. Whatever reasons we didn't do it, be that insecurity or for me, personal life. Like I have a family to support. I need health insurance. I need all these things. So risks are riskier for me than it is for them.
Yeah, no, that's insane. Yeah,
it's just different. We're all in different realms of our lives, and he pushed it a lot, and then I started pushing with you a lot, and then we were pushing a lot. And SourceFed ending, even though none of us were there except for Steve at the time.
Oh yeah.
Was this? It was kind of this beacon that made us realize there's still a need for this. There's still a want. And if we get together, we can capitalize on it. And then we didn't. And Sugar Pine 7 did. And they skyrocketed.
And now Septic is, so anyway.
And then we saw what the young ones were doing better than what we were doing.
Welcome back to the podcast, Missed Chances.
Yeah,
and
I'm here with Kib and James.
We would be, we are in a very good place that we're very happy about. But man, if we would have launched our Patreon the day after that.
Well, you guys killed on Patreon.
That live stream.
That was all part of, we were going to do, the whole point of the Patreon was to get enough to be able to go to an investor.
Get me out of my job.
Basically, which required, making sure there was like health insurance, making sure Joe's family was taken care of. And so that became the primary thing that like we had to orchestrate everything around. But then the goal was to basically just like, if we could get anything on Patreon, we could then like reduce that from the amount of the investment that we would be asking for from somebody. And then the Patreon thing happened and we were like, oh, we can just start. And it took us a few months to get our act together. But then, and
we're still getting it together, but we're figuring it out.
Because it's been a year, right? It's only been a year.
Yeah.
A year, a little bit more than a year since we launched the Patreon. We're kind of like in the midst of a year anniversary of when we started to kind of create some content.
Yeah,
right.
The real content. Yeah.
The real content anniversary is May.
Oh, really?
June. That's when we started your show.
Are you guys doing a soiree?
Absolutely not. We don't plan that.
We don't like fun.
You don't acknowledge accomplishments. Forgot.
We don't have time.
We look
it
back.
keeps you humble.
Focus.
We don't have
pride in ourselves.
or financial means.
Yeah.
All of these things. On that really positive, optimistic, motivating, inspiring note, we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we have more questions for those guys from The Thing.
No, for real. I feel like you guys have this like chemistry.
And we're goodbye.
We'll take it offline.
Okay.
Not too deep.
This episode of Not Too Deep is brought to you by Hum Nutrition. They are all about making you look and feel your best. Each specific supplement packs a combo of potent ingredients designed for specific aims like clear skin, boosted energy, or fuller hair, and is backed by clinical results. Hum focuses on preventing concerns and long-term care and repair, not damage control and covering up. Their inside-out approach to beauty goes beyond a skincare regimen alone to give you great results. Hum's products are sustainably sourced, non-GMO, and free of soy, gluten, artificial colors, and preservatives, plus lots of vegan options. You can try supplements like the Daily Cleanse, Hair Sweet Hair Growth Gummies, Uber Energy, and more. If you aren't sure what you need, go to humnutrition.com/get_started to take a quiz and get personalized recommendations from Hum's team of registered dietitians. To make things even easier, Hum offers a monthly vitamin subscription that's affordable, flexible, and convenient. Go to humnutrition.com/get_started for your personalized recommendations and get 20% off your purchase with code GRACE. That's humnutrition.com/get_started and code GRACE.
Not too deep.
This episode of Not Too Deep is brought to you by Squarespace. Turn your dream into a reality with Squarespace. They make it easier than ever to launch your passion project. If you're looking to start a new business, showcase your work, publish content, sell products, and more, Squarespace is the tool for you. They have beautiful templates created by world-class designers and the ability to customize just about anything with a few clicks. You can easily make a beautiful website all by yourself. Plus, Squarespace's powerful e-commerce functionality lets you sell anything online, and they have analytics that help you grow your site in real time. Everything is optimized for mobile right out of the box, and there's nothing to patch or upgrade ever. Buying domains is simple, and you'll get the help you need with Squarespace's 24/7 award-winning customer support. They empower millions of people, from designers to lawyers, artists, gamers, restaurants, gyms, etc., to turn great ideas into something real. Go to squarespace.com/grace for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code GRACE to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/grace, offer code GRACE.
Thank you to our sponsors. We're back.
Hey, Squarespace, I bet it was you. Thanks so much. If you need design, anyone can do it. Award-winning customer service, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, squarespace.com.
Damn.
Discount code GRACE. Okay. What was the first baby that you held? Wow. This one caused pause. All the other actual questions.
I know, yeah.
Mine was probably my niece. That is the baby worth remembering.
The only one that mattered.
There might have been some prior to that.
Not Ben, the nephew. F him.
Yeah, no.
He knows what he did.
But that was like
He knows what he did
That
on
was
Christmas.
the first one that mattered. My niece. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably a second cousin would be my guess. I was like the youngest first cousin, and then the second cousin started popping out.
Brag alert.
Sorry.
Wow.
I think it was a cousin.
Cool.
That's all I
What was your first baby?
I blacked that all out. I don't like to hold babies.
Yeah,
I think I'm self-aware enough in my trust of myself and my abilities. I fall down constantly, so my inability to hold my own body up leads me to believe I should not be held accountable for holding another human body up.
Yeah, I still have the instinct if I'm holding a baby to sit down to prove
throw
to the
it?
parent. But when I fight the urge, when I'm like, don't do it, don't shake it.
Yeah, it's not hot potato, turns out.
Yeah, I still sit down like a child though. Like if you hand me a new baby, I'll be like, I'm just gonna sit on the couch to make sure I
to
don't
brace yourself.
to make sure I don't drop it. Because if I drop it, it'd be really bad.
You start swaddling it, but you wrap it up the entirely wrong way.
Yeah, I make it like a yo-yo and it just
first.
sort of falls down. And I
fine.
flip it back up.
Okay, what was the first internet trend or meme that after you saw it made you think, I am very old? For me, I think it was the word YOLO. When that came out, I remember being like, this is stupid. And I think
Abbreviations.
because I think it's stupid, I am dumb and old.
I think FML.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking like you guys are talking abbreviations on the internet speak in general. Then.
Well, I also think slime was another one that really...
That was going to be my answer.
Slime's
Yeah.
a really good one. Yeah.
And again, I'm swimming in it because my daughter is 11 and she loves it.
Love slime?
Yeah,
Does she
doesn't
make
love-
her own?
Yeah, she does
Yeah.
it all. Like it's a weird hobby for people, and she's not watching a bunch of YouTube slime videos or anything. But it's in that.
She's not watching the videos.
It's just the culture of that age. It's
Yeah.
it's huge in the schools and everything like
Well,
that.
when we were
Fidget
younger-
spinners, all that crap.
Yeah, all the distraction devices.
Yeah.
When we were in school, slime was also, the Nickelodeon days of everything. I feel like it's cyclical now.
Right,
Yep.
but it was
Gack.
gack, and
Yeah.
you would buy it, and then your parents would get mad that it was in the carpet, and then it would be gone.
Yeah.
And then
My
it dries
daughter
out.
is taking
It's like a
contact
process.
solution, which is really expensive. And
Thank
other
you.
household
Thank you.
things from underneath
Thank
the
you.
sink, and she's like doing
Borax.
science
There's a lot of
experiments.
borax.
Yeah. Like, and then there's probably a positive outcome for doing
I mean,
all that.
she's being a little chemist.
But it's kind of it's a lifestyle for some of these kids. Like, I'm a slime girl. It's
Is that what Hayden says?
yeah.
Does she say I'm a
No,
slime
she
girl?
does not. But
Do you ask
I
her?
do.
Yeah. Hayden, are you a slime girl?
this is weird. Like, I feel like it wasn't. I don't feel like maybe things took over our lives like that a little bit more when we were younger.
I mean, Polly Pocket was my jam.
Polly Pocket,
I was
wow.
a PP girl.
Whoa.
Yeah.
you're a pee girl.
Yeah.
Did you ever do the what do you call them? The little
mushrooms.
Mushrooms, yeah. Did you ever do the LSD? The Tamagotchi things.
Oh yeah,
Did you do 'em?
I did, and that's also where I got like reinforced in my brain that I can't keep things alive, so I should not be a mother. I should not.
Full circle.
Yeah, I mean that's what they really are teaching kids really young. Like keep this digital thing alive, and if you don't, it's gone forever.
It's
grounded.
a sign.
Yeah, you're grounded.
Let it haunt you.
Okay, let's talk about Trivia Bidet.
Oh, great.
This is out of all the content that you guys make, one of my favorites because it is exceptionally dumb and very
Thank you.
stupid. And I,
Thank you.
no offense, begrudgingly watched an episode just to get some knowledge of what this was for the first time. And I loved it. I loved it. I don't know what it is about human dissatisfaction.
It's how me and Grace met.
Oh,
Yeah.
You guys have met
In a former life, probably.
Yeah.
when you were a slime girl.
When I was a slime girl.
Nice.
He was a gack boy and I was a slime girl.
It's a tale as old as time.
It's a Romeo and Juliet situation.
right.
I don't know, man. I'm like a gat guy. I'm just like,
Yeah, it was
she's
like
like a
Facebook
slime
and
girl.
MySpace meeting for the
I was
first time.
short on contact solution.
yeah, you know how expensive that stuff is.
And he's legally blind. So,
Yeah.
what was your first bidet experience?
My first bidet experience, I believe, was in the bathroom of Lee Newton's apartment.
Okay,
in
well,
West
also,
Hollywood.
let me go back really quick. For those that don't know or haven't experienced the sights and sounds of Trivia Bidet, how would you describe it?
The show?
I
Yes.
think the title, I think if you don't know what it is off the top, the title
Well,
is...
the title's a little misleading because it makes it seem like you're asking bidets to answer questions about pop culture trivia.
Or it's
Right,
all
which
trivia
is-
about
Or
bidets.
bidets, yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
when
Right.
was the first bidet?
Yeah.
Right. Or a bidet that asks trivia questions
Yeah,
to
like-
unsuspecting
Like
passersby.
Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey! Hey! When did Neil Armstrong get on
Not
the moon?
again, Trivia Bidet. Not again.
Not today, bidet.
I have a whole schedule.
Not today, bidet is a different FX show.
Oh,
that
that's
we'll
great.
Talk about
So
later.
you guys can have, spin-offs.
It's an empire that we're
So
building
basically,
here,
you guys
Grace.
all sit on a bidet one at a time, and Lee asks you trivia questions, and if you get them wrong,
Yeah,
the
Lee
bidet
really
operates.
Lee really went for the most convenient
Who's-
role in that.
Yeah, oh no, that's what I thought it was her idea, but
yeah, no, she's the host because she refuses to be a contestant.
I fully identify with that.
Yeah,
100%.
it's very difficult. We've gone back and forth on like there was a reason it's like dude heavy because it's
Yeah.
like dudes being like, you want to come on Trivia Bidet,
Hey,
but anytime it's a girl, it's like, hey,
I've asked maybe 3 girls, and it always goes, "Hey, I'm sorry.
That's how girls want to be approached by guys.
Look, we film this thing
First
like
of all,
it's
I'm
really
sorry.
classy the way I've said this. It's really classy the way we film it.
like it's gonna be like don't worry, it's like an elegant.
Yeah, yeah.
You're
No one's
actually
gonna
you've
see
gone
anything.
full producer. You've actually become a producer who just like it lies.
But
There's no lie.
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah,
we
you-
film it the classiest way that we could
all right,
possibly.
That is
you know
film
who
it.
also says that verbatim? Producers on The Bachelor. That's exactly
the classiest show.
We want you to
on
drink this
TV.
handle of vodka and go on this date, but we're going to shoot it real classy.
You're gonna look great.
Yeah.
We definitely shoot it classy. Trivia Bidet is a trivia game show where we ask trivia questions, and if you get it wrong, you get sprayed in the booty hole.
Which
by-
is, I guess, the technical
yeah.
function
technical-
of
There's a
bidet.
twist, though. There's a twist. Our bidet, unlike most bidets, is malfunctioning and shoots way too hard and is very cold.
I don't think it's malfunctioning.
There's no way they all shoot that.
Really? I think they do, dude.
I think you put it in a little wrong.
Whoa. For all of you just listening to the podcast, this is a curious snippet of conversation that should be taken out of context.
Grace, please.
Dude, if the door and the wall were not there, it would hit the other side of the road.
It would hit the 7-Eleven.
Wait, so, okay. So this is the only bidet both of you have ever experienced?
Me,
No.
I don't have a lot of
So you
bidet
don't-
experience.
okay.
Yeah.
So for you, this
I've been
is...
on the bidet or two.
I've been around the bidet block. But
I've been on the bidet block.
it's funny to me because a bidet is, I guess, traditionally like a luxury amenity for a bathroom. So you're using it as designed, but it's causing wild discomfort to
Thank
the
you.
people that experience
Thank
it.
you for bringing that up, Grace. We are taking an upper class sort of thing, and we're bringing it down to the people, and we're humanizing it a little bit.
Yeah, for the
And,
peasants, for us peasants.
Look,
Thank you.
it's our way of saying, hey, even if you don't have a bidet because you're poor or whatever, you can.
Just duct tape a squirt gun
Yeah.
to the bottom of your toilet.
Yeah,
and see
you
what
can figure it out.
happens.
We realize this show is purely an American experience.
Wait, because aren't these are internationally more accepted?
Yes.
What we hear.
Okay.
Our original plan too, and I got really back in the early days of the Valleyfolk, years and years and years ago. Joe came up with Trivia Bidet first of all, and he pitched it for months, and all
you
of
all
us
said no.
Not no, but like
you just pretended he wasn't talking.
Yeah.
The Valleyfolk functions, the way the ideas see the light of day at the Valleyfolk is if somebody is really excited about it and then everybody else gets on board just enough that it gets produced.
Just enough that they show up.
I was really excited about it and really still truly believe in it. And it took me doing everything to get this done.
Yeah, it did. It did for sure, and for good reason, because
it's
weird. A tough pitch. But so
I think it sells itself. I don't know about you, but if you need a new member of the Valleyfolk to support you and build you up, Joe, I'm available.
She's there for emotional support. She will not be there.
You heard it here first, everybody.
I'm like one of those tiny dogs you bring on the planes.
One of those tiny dogs.
Yeah.
The original plan though was to do a cold bidet, like to have it like ice cold water.
Because can you control the temperature?
You can on fancy ones, but not to the point that you make it unbearably cold, which is what we wanted. And so I remember I literally tried to like ice a pipe full of water to make it really cold. And then you contacted our buddy Aaron Massey and we're like, is there a way you can make a device that shoots freezing cold water through the bidet? And he was like, I can do that, no problem. And then you were just like, well, let's just do it anyway. And then we did it.
So you got it custom made?
Someday we will.
No, someday we will. Yeah, we're just in the pilot phase right now, essentially.
We shoot it in our legit, very small office bathroom. So when we're doing a three video shoot to produce this thing and we're doing 3 episodes, nobody gets to go to the bathroom.
This didn't get thought through.
No.
Yeah.
No, it did. It's just our means are very minimal.
But
and we don't get to pee.
You're struggling artists are sacrificing for your art. So
we do.
you really have to cut some corners.
I'm going to get real for a second. I really do love this show. And I do think this is going to be our hot ones after time. I really do think so.
It's already doing very well for you guys because it's so dumb. And also, I don't see anything else like it that I'm already spinning my gears going, what else does a Home Depot have to offer in terms of home renovation?
Can you spray somebody in the face with a hose?
Yeah, what can you do with like a staple gun or something?
So much. You could do the Home Alone challenge. You could do like home...
oh, man,
the Home Alone challenge. Just leave my kids alone at home for 3 hours.
I've been asking you to do it for a long time. So.
You just get one string, one paint can, tie it to a ceiling, see what happens.
If you answer wrong, you get a paint
Leave
can.
them alone.
Swung in your face.
I think it works for 3 reasons. I think it works for Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude.
Oh,
how do you say it?
You want to see people.
Schadenfreude.
Yeah, Schadenfreude.
Yeah, you want to see people be uncomfortable. We do that.
Yep.
If you can trick your audience into learning, it's actually one of those things that I think keeps people
really
coming
something
back.
you care? Okay.
I do. And I think as a lot of the things that I produced at
Smosh
Smosh was, oh crap, I didn't know that answer. Or you make people feel like they're playing the game.
Oh yeah, it's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah. And then they're invested on different levels. And I think, whatever. The only thing holding it back is that maybe it's a little perverted.
I mean, you will. Like, I know you guys on a personal level, so that is overlooked. But I can see how someone that doesn't know any of you goes, this is a little bit fucked up right now.
It's super weird. If we detach ourselves from it and remove ourselves a little bit mentally, it is definitely an incredibly weird thing.
We have a lot of female friends that say no because they're self-reflective and smart.
I thought you were about to say selfish.
They have a lot of self-awareness and they're like, wait a minute. There's a bunch of perverts on the internet that may not like this.
Yeah.
One time may like it way too much.
Unfortunately, really like this.
One time somebody who didn't we were reading, you've heard of negative internet statements before?
No,
negative
I
feedback?
only have 100% support from anyone that comes across anything
Congratulations.
I do.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Good for you.
I know, it's hard to be up on this pedestal.
Ride that train.
Wow.
It's not
I
that
know,
way
I'm
all
afraid
the
of
time.
heights.
There was one guy who referred to the Valleyfolk as Joe Beretta and his band of perverts. And he said it like he meant it.
Yeah.
How is that not a t-shirt that you guys are selling?
Love it.
That's a great band name. And also, I want that on a t-shirt.
I changed our LLC. I made it. We went from Valleyfolk to Joe Beretta and his band of perverts.
I love that.
Yeah.
That guy gave you a gift.
Oh my God. And it was very accusatory too. It was like,
that guy's not a fan.
we don't need to go into that. Yeah, but
he was a fan of Joe.
We'll talk about that off of the podcast.
Oh, Oh, sorry. Let me go get a mop.
It
Tea
was
is
Phil
about to get
DeFranco.
spilled.
Phil DeFranco.
Oh, okay.
Phil DeFranco said it was
Joe Beretta's-
Valleyfolk is just Joe
And then he
Beretta
sold the
and his
t-shirt
band
and beat
of
us
perverts.
to it.
Yeah, every time. Damn it! How is your
Somehow
hair product so good?
He got a brand deal on the video where he
I'm
sold
so
our
offended
t-shirts.
he hasn't sent me a hair product. I'm so angry.
You need to look at the camera and say that.
I'm not trying to start YouTube drama, but Phil DeFranco needs to send me some goddamn pomade.
Okay. Wow.
Nice.
It's really, I mean, we're going to have to scrap this episode. It got real.
It got intense.
Let's talk about stew. Joe, what's your stew enthusiasm? What's this deal? What
It's
is this?
delicious.
What is this?
And when you have a family,
okay, listen.
it lasts
Do you
for
know
days.
Joe loves stew?
No, okay, here's the thing.
Do you
Diane does a lot of research for all of our guests that are on the show, and I was so delighted and curious to see what her research would be of you guys that I know on a, semi-personal level already.
Wait, why?
I've been
YouTube.
I follow you on Twitter.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're welcome.
All right,
Thank
the bit's
you.
dead.
But so there's
They're fucking.
You felt it.
Oh! So
Are you gonna
let's
cut
talk
that
about
out?
That's funny.
You gonna cut that out?
It's just going to be the most jump cut podcast.
Yeah, it's gonna sound like an episode of Real Housewives.
I'm
I
so
can't
sorry. We
believe-
don't really know each other. Now I feel like I might have crossed a line.
That's
I'm
very
No,
so
funny.
you're
sorry.
good. You're solid. I mean,
I was talking to Elliot.
Enough. Grace, stop.
Tell us about stew. Why are you so enthusiastic about it?
I-
What's its deal?
I wish I
it's
could-
just thick soup.
Yeah, it's great. It's delicious.
It's like soup.
Chunky.
It's soup that doesn't know if it wants to be a solid or not.
It's soup with a little bit of effort.
It's human
But
soup.
it's not. It's not like a chowder based thing. At least it's more broth
Yeah,
based.
so is a chowder a stew?
I don't.
What's the definition of stew? It's just
God.
stewed for a long time.
Yeah. Oh, God, I wish I was going to be more interesting with this answer. It's delicious. Jackson, do you like stew? No. Okay.
Yeah. all right. Thank you, Jackson.
I'm a member of the Jackson fan club.
Do you not like stew?
I don't have any specific feelings on it.
Look at Joe. He's from Montana. He's got
Oh,
a beard.
okay.
He's
Say
a
no
full
more.
He's
You're
like,
the brawny
stew
man.
is- yeah, it's a manly.
I don't like this box you're all putting me in.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna definitely.
I also took ballet for 3 years, huh?
Did you really?
Huh? How about that for your stew and your ingredients and your box stew you put me in?
You're going back to. I'm doing the same thing.
Have
We're
you-
both going back to the.
I'm so sorry.
yeah.
My whole goal of these two separate Valleyfolk podcasts are just to cause riffs. That's all I want you to walk
oh,
away
they're
with.
there. You're just pointing. You're just shining a light on them.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the stew
yeah.
thing.
I see.
That's tough.
Has there ever been an episode or a piece of content or a podcast or anything that never saw the light of day? Because Hannah Mabry and I definitely have an episode of My Drunk Kitchen that got out of hand that has never seen the light of day.
For the Valleyfolk, we have one piece of content that has not seen the light of day.
Why?
We just weren't happy with it. It was like the
Oh.
one thing that we were like, we're not happy with a lot of things that we put out. But this one like crossed the line.
What was it?
It was the Saw parody we did.
Oh, that wasn't
Ooh.
good.
We just weren't happy. Like
See,
at the end
I
of the
feel
day,
like
we're
you
like,
guys
oh,
should put that
we
out
will
now.
eventually. There'll be a Tuesday where we're like, shit.
We were
We
even.
are out of
We
everything.
we didn't even put it on Patreon. We were like, this
Oh, yeah.
isn't even
Yeah.
worth.
We just moved on because the other thing is that it was kind of at the height of us producing your show, our mainstay show.
Yeah.
Like on a consistent basis. And that there's a lot that goes into that show. So
Right.
and we have no editors. We have two very talented editors, but that's all we have.
Yeah.
So we put them on the important stuff. And that it was kind of a Halloween episode. And once Halloween was gone, it was
Not valid.
Yeah.
I think you guys should put it out there.
We will.
And then also give the audience a task to re-edit it to be better.
That's fun. We should just put all the raw footage out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you get free editors.
Yeah. For editors.
Let's
Or
put it out
friends.
at Christmas. Friends, yeah.
That's how Elliot and I met.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other ideas like Trivia Bidet that have been suggested on repeat that you guys haven't collectively got on board about?
I want to do a video where Steve and I handcuff ourselves to each other for 24 hours.
That's a big trend on YouTube. Yeah,
Oh, really?
Is it really?
it was. Yeah, for sure. It was like couples and friends handcuffing each other.
Do you still want to do it?
So you guys were on trend without even knowing.
Yeah, no, we don't. We're not up to speed. Yeah, I definitely still want to do it. I think it'd be very funny. And I wanted to do it on a night that I had like a stand-up show and have to like drag Steve on stage. But Steve has, we'd also have to like sleep together and like.
Yeah,
do that
there's a
whole
lot
thing.
of complications.
Yeah,
with
it
that.
kind of as we started talking, like we had it all scheduled, and then we like I still think it'd be fun. Oh, and then skydiving. I still want us to
There's
go.
a lot of like experiential stuff we want to do
in Vegas. I want us to all go to Vegas and camping.
We can get out of the office.
I want to leave LA.
You should just take a vacation.
Yeah, I should check. That's what I need to do is get out of town.
I think, and this is me now just voluntarily EPing your guys' whole channel now, that you guys should do more experiential things. I think it's fun to see you guys work together well or not well.
Yeah, we enjoy it. It's I think we struggle with what every other YouTuber struggles with on a subconscious level that affects your decisions. And it's like, oh, we got to get this stuff out.
Yeah.
And if we're not staying on our schedule, and some of that is got to be in office, got to knock this crap out so it's in the can. And if you go do an experiential thing, it just takes so much time.
And it's so much footage.
Yeah,
to try
it's
and
a
figure
lot.
out. But
and it's fun and it's worth it.
If you guys go skydiving, just buy the package where they cut and edit a video for you on site, which they do at those places. And they are, not to toot their horn too much, pretty good editors.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know if you've heard about a star wipe before, but they are not at a minimum in the skydiving
if
community.
we could do that and take that video and like embed it into a longer video, that would be very fun.
To actually answer the question, there's other things. Elliot has a narrative podcast he wants to do, which would be cool.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
I have a podcast called Work Sucks that I want to do, where I interview people about just their employment history and like the lessons they learned, like their first job to their now job. Like if it was you on my podcast.
TJ Maxx fitting room. I watch adult women actually openly
save it for my
shoplift.
show. Save it for, but that was, and
they would go in with 6 clothes. They come out with 3. They don't know where the other 3 went, but there's tags coming out their back. And I was like 16. I was like, not my place. I'm not Mrs. Max.
Boom.
I don't need to save the day.
It's all above your pay grade.
Already interesting. We gotta make this show.
But then after a month, I got a 50-cent raise offer from Chili's to host there. And that was my favorite restaurant. And I thought, I am peaking at 16.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah.
And it was still when restaurants were smoking or non.
Was TJ Maxx your first job?
Other than like babysitting. Yeah.
What was your first job?
I worked as a construction worker for my father's construction company, and my job was to clean up the grounds. And I got really hot.
Oh, you had to pick up like the nails and shit. I did that as a 8-year-old.
And then I worked at a sandwich shop called Crispers.
See, everyone's moving on up.
Yeah, everyone.
I don't know.
Good
It's a
what was
storytelling. Mine was I was a lifeguard at 15 for a water slide park, and
that sounds like
I was in
wet
charge
Band-Aids
of,
everywhere.
Yeah, and keeping people alive. Like it doesn't make sense.
Did you ever have to save a life as a lifeguard?
I saved children that were trapped underneath. Like
what?
really
Slides
big
and stuff?
humans on like river rides. River ride would be where you're on a tube.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
The lazy river, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of that. Like there'd be a lot of pulling out. We had people airlifted out of this place.
What?
People get hurt on water slides.
What's going on in Montana?
Yeah, this is a
Jesus.
bad
It's
water
everywhere.
park?
Every water park. And every water park
Does your manager
has
tell you that?
15-year-olds
Yeah, that are
that are
responsible for this.
lifeguards
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
take 2
I
training
remember
courses on CPR.
Yeah, that was the big job because there was a swim club like in the town over. And so that was like a big draw of a job for all these like teens that I went to high school with, that they were all lifeguards. But I was like, I don't think I trust that dude to save me if I'm drowning right now. But they were responsible for it.
Have you been to? You haven't been, I don't think. Have you been to the Six Flags water park?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Have you done the one where you get into like the refrigerator looking thing,
And then you go,
and the floor falls out,
Yeah.
and you go straight down?
we did a trivia show for Smosh on that slide where if you got the question wrong, you'd get dropped.
Really?
Oh, that's fun.
I love trivia shows.
Yeah, it turns out you have a niche.
Yeah. I love trivia, guys. I love trivia and causing my friends pain. That slide's terrifying.
Yeah, it's fun.
Anyway.
Good times.
Wow. Okay. Well, we're going to take one more quick break. And when we get back, we have Twitter questions for you guys. Ever
Fun.
heard of it?
How are we doing?
I'll
is it
give you
okay?
an exit survey on the way out after the show.
Okay, great.
We'll be right back with more Not Too Deep after this.
I'm gonna go pee.
Not too deep.
Hey guys, let's get something straight. Your teeth. Smile Direct Club straightens your teeth for 60% less than braces with invisible aligners sent directly to you. Simply go online and book a free 3D scan at one of their Smile shops or order an at-home impression kit. Then they'll email a preview of your new smile, and once you get your aligners, one of Smile Direct Club's duly licensed doctors will check in on your progress every 90 days. Visit SmileDirectClub.com for real before and after photos from some of 550,000 plus satisfied grinners. That's cute. Satisfied grinners. And exclusive for our listeners, you can get $100 off your invisible aligners when you go to smiledirect.club.com/podcasts and use offer code GRACE100. You'll also get a $25 Amazon gift card with a free 3D scan at one of their Smile shops or a $25 rebate on an at-home impression kit. That's $100 off at smiledirect.club.com/podcast. Offer code GRACE100. smiledirect.club.com/podcast. Offer code GRACE100.
Not too deep.
This episode of Not Too Deep is brought to you by Drop. It's a free app that gives out cash rewards for the shopping you do every single day. Link your debit and credit cards when you sign up. Select the stores you shop with the most and earn points each time you spend there. Redeem points for gift cards to places like Amazon, Sephora, Lululemon, and many more. With Drop, you can earn and redeem from brands that are entirely relevant to you and your preferences. You're able to earn across a number of brands, so you accumulate points quickly, especially since the brands you're earning points from are the ones you spend with every day. It's easy to link your cards and then earn points whenever you spend. The app works in the background to recognize your transactions and reward you for those purchases every time. And for a limited time, you can head to the App Store or Google Play and sign up for Drop using my code GRACE, and you'll receive a $10 Starbucks gift card right away. Make sure to link a debit or credit card to the app when you sign up to redeem your reward. Okay, speaking of very funny, we have a goddamn lot of Twitter questions for you guys. But before we get into those, I'm going to ask you guys the two questions I ask every single guest that's on the podcast. Elliot, I don't know what your answers were for these last time, but we'll see.
Me neither.
So the first question is, who, alive or dead, would you most want to throw cold spaghetti at?
Oh.
Sorry, is that the one question that offended you?
No,
Wow. First of all, too soon.
I just wanted to be honest, and I have no clue who that would be.
Cold spaghetti. So that I'm assuming I'm angry at this person.
It's your own emotional intention.
Okay, cool. All right.
It can be celebratory. It's just how you map it out.
Yay! Here's some cold spaghetti.
I was like, what's happening?
He's setting the scene.
Who are you?
He's setting the scene.
We're celebrating.
Okay, so who is on the receiving end of that?
I'm definitely going to do it in an angry way. Okay, well,
Okay.
cold
Yeah, you're
spaghetti.
probably
It's
angry.
harmless. But
That's the other problem. It's harmless. So is it a joke? Is it fun? Are you flirting?
I
like,
would
ooh, cold
I'd
spaghetti.
probably do one of y'all. I would do either you, Lee, or Steve. I'd mix
That's
Russian
hurtful.
roulette.
It's
Yeah.
hurtful.
But I think it'd be a funny response. Like I think I trust my friends enough that if I were to throw cold spaghetti at them, they would make me laugh
I feel
even
like-
more.
Oh.
But it does seem mean.
If your bidet ever goes, off its rocker and doesn't work anymore, the idea of seeing someone get hit with cold spaghetti from a mysterious handoff camera, I'm just saying, has huge entertainment value.
Oh, it's a pie in the face. It's a classic pie. It's a 2019
but
pie in the
it's
face.
it's more spastic.
Yeah.
It's like
How
it's
dare
silly.
you? The bidet will never go off. It's a perfect
You worked
idea.
too hard for it.
I have an honest answer.
Okay.
The freaking dumpster at our office right now has been overflowing
Excellent. I
for
take his.
about 3 weeks to the point. None of this garbage is ours, by the way. None of it. And it's overflowing.
We put our garbage on the internet.
It's overflowing. That's good.
Thanks.
It's overflowing into one of our 4 parking spaces. So now we only have 3.
Mm-hmm.
And we caught the
Tell
freaking
her.
dude
Tell her,
that
Jeff.
was parked outside of it in a white truck. You have a picture. You could put it on this podcast.
I do have a picture. I took a picture and I stared him down, and,
And
he
he
looked
was-
at me.
yes, he did.
And he gave me the nod,
thought you
and
were
I was
about to
like,
get in
I
a
know.
fight.
Oh, dude, I was like, I felt bad.
To be fair, you know who Elliot recently also stared down? A teen that he assumed stole his arcade card and then got back to my house
Trevor.
and realized he had it in his pocket the whole time.
I stared this kid
That's so
down like
funny.
I was disappointed in him.
I was like, I think that kid
And,
stole it. Like
man.
this like tall teen.
you did gaslight me.
Oh yeah, I set you up for not success in that
Mm-hmm.
moment.
Yeah.
Man, how are you going to get those 3 bouncy balls and a Tootsie Roll if you don't have your
Dude, this place has
arcade
no
card?
prizes. This
I
isn't
know.
our
It was a
barcade with
sad
no
kid.
You guys
prizes.
went to a barcade?
It was
Damn
a sad kid.
Good.
But
yeah,
so
that
you
guy.
found that guy.
Fuck that guy.
And so that guy's just dumping all of his
Yep.
stuff. Does he actually
Some of
work
his
in the
stuff.
building?
No, he does not.
Sorry.
He sees this garbage mess landfill that is our dumpster, and I think we're in a zone where the garbage
never gets picked up.
They won't pick it up if it's overflowing, and it is overflowing.
Well,
which is a real problem. What do you do then? There's
I was
nothing
going to say,
do.
what's the solution
You
here?
live with garbage
We're
forever
also
and ever.
the dumb internet kids / adults doing YouTube that everybody else in the building thinks that we're the assholes
They all hate
doing
us.
Oh,
it.
yeah. They have you guys pegged as the people that are doing this to them.
Just
That
because we're
guy.
assholes in every other way, they think it's
Yeah,
that way
which
also.
isn't fair.
It's not
Yeah.
fair. It's judgment.
So that's it. Grace.
Start a petition. Okay, next question.
Great answer, Joe.
The
Yeah,
other
fuck
question
that
that
guy.
I ask every single guest on the podcast is to tell me your worst pants shitting story or close call, but you can only use 3 words or 3 small phrases or a mix of both. So mine, for example, college, jogging, front lawn.
I'm going to use a hyphenated.
You can do
I'm
whatever
going to
you
cheat
want.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to use phrases.
Yeah.
With friends. Wanted to be cool.
Scientology.
Jumped in air, turned 180 to fart. Whoops, not fart. Shit my pants fully.
Okay, that was
That's just the full story.
that a sonnet? I think that was an actual
Yeah.
sonnet.
That was a
shit
haiku?
my pants fully.
Wow.
That's
Oh,
all. That's on the internet.
No follow-up
You can
questions
find
there.
that.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think I
wow.
ever shit. I don't think I ever shit my pants.
close
I don't
call.
think I've ever actually.
I don't believe that for a second.
Yeah,
Everybody
also,
shit
what?
their pants.
That's the most unattractive thing about you that I've learned.
I know. Well,
Shit, dude,
we'll
today
take
could
it. Write that
change.
down.
Change it. Shit right now, dude.
Yeah, you're right. God, dude, babe.
I will give you.
was just like, this is my
I'll give you
house.
$20 if you shit your pants on Grace's podcast. Right
Dude,
now.
for real?
Yeah.
Well,
No,
you're about to see
no.
me shit my pants.
No,
Oh.
I'll Venmo you. You're fine.
I'm
you
making money
shit
left
your-
and right. No, the weird. I think I found somebody else's shit in underwear one time.
That's way worse. That's
in,
This is-
in my
I mean, you
dad's
could've just-
camper in the woods in Florida. And it was like Power Ranger underwear. And I was old enough to be like, that's too old, or that's shit. And also young enough to be weirdly ashamed of it.
I don't like that story. Wow, Florida continues to just be the gift that keeps
they
on
were
giving.
they were David Dobrik's.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're hooligans.
No, they were Jason Nash's. Let's be real. Okay, let's get into these Twitter questions. First question: what the hell was Joe doing rolling sushi at Gonzaga?
It was my early morning job. I
This is the college you went to.
I went to Gonzaga. It's a private Jesuit university.
It's
and
when I play March Madness, I always put them as number 1
You
because I
better-
root for an underdog.
Great. Whoa.
Well, they're always like rated. I thought they're always like 15th. Okay, never mind.
No. We're now. I can't look.
I know. I saw.
need to talk to you.
No, you're
about
fine. Put on a smiley.
Private colleges are expensive. I got scholarships and stuff, but still it had to make money. So I'd get up at like 6 a.m. and go to the food service, and I'd roll sushi for 2 hours before class.
Whoa. Something about that's oddly like therapeutic sounding.
It was. It really was like it was zen.
Yeah.
And I don't like sushi. I don't eat it. But rolling it was kind of nice. It was,
Yeah.
There's an art to it.
Ooh.
I've learned more about you in this podcast than I have in a while. It's cool.
Hey, I used to roll sushi,
Yeah,
dog.
yeah, it's like trivia that like I'm sure you've said next to
Sometimes-
me and I just wasn't listening at
Yeah,
all. This is the
sometimes
first time
when-
I've ever listened to you.
Well,
Thank you.
When you take an authentic vested interest in someone, sometimes you can learn things about
Yeah,
them.
it's interesting. I'm gonna try it with some of my other friends and see what happens.
Okay, my college roommate Michelle tweeted and asked, "Please pontificate on the validity of your Hogwarts house sortings in great detail. Have you guys been sorted? Because your fellow Valleyfolk member Lee
She's
Newton
very
was
adamant
very yeah.
about-
We were on set for a Fine Brothers production, and she got very." Uppity is not the right word, but very animated and
Shitty.
aggressive about me having to be sorted into a house because that's how she really truly valued whether she was going to be friends with someone. And so she sorted me until it was done. And I'm a Hufflepuff.
Oh, I was gonna say,
and
let's
so
play
I
the
passed
guessing
her
game.
test that
Yeah.
I could be
Oh.
friends with her because she
Who
was
do you-
also a Hufflepuff.
What do you think we are?
What do I think you are?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say 2 Slytherins.
What?
Huh.
Never mind Ravenclaws. I don't know.
This is coming from people that are very adamant, casual partakers of Harry Potter.
I know you guys somehow that hit a nerve.
No, I think Joe, you're a Gryffindor.
I was back in the day.
Oh,
During the
now
Sorcerer
you're-
It does
days, I was
change.
Gryffindor.
Okay.
I think things change.
People grow.
stuff at home. Like there's some dark health stuff that I've been having to go through for the past like 4 years, and I somehow morphed into a Ravenclaw.
Oh, I can see that.
I was originally a Ravenclaw. I think I haven't taken the test since, and I would imagine I still am. And I'm okay with that. That the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry is the Sorting Hat test is based on the Myers-Briggs test.
It's a personality test.
Yeah, and it's very in depth and it's very good, but it's also it doesn't none of those things mean a lot because you're just telling a computer about yourself, and then the computer just tells you what you already told it, and then you're like, I can't believe it's me, and it's that doesn't. I'm not trying to be a buzzkill, but anyway, it's a very
job,
Ravenclaw.
Elliot.
It's a
Wow.
Ravenclaw.
Jesus Christ! I
I'm just
mean,
proving that I'm a
you know,
Ravenclaw.
Turns out 2 times on my podcast is the max number of times Elliot gets to be on my podcast.
Next time we're going to talk about how astrology is bullshit. Yeah, I'm just going to be a buzzkill the entire time.
Goblin Queen, why did you hide the milk? That's a you problem.
Ooh.
That was an us problem.
That
You're
was an
right,
us
but that's
problem.
a you.
Yeah, it was made into an us problem.
I had immediate regrets, but I did tell Elliot this, that at the end of that night at the bar, so basically I thought it'd be hilarious. I was slightly inebriated that after being shown the Valleyfolk office for the first time, to give them a gift as a thank you and appreciation for what they do for the community and for allowing me to explore their work rooms like a child at a playground. And so I put a gallon of milk in your office that he knew about, and I literally said, I texted you, it's on record, like the next day, being like, you gotta get rid of that milk.
Yeah.
It was there for a very long time, too.
A very long time.
But the
I have a
funny thing
series of
is-
videos on a daily basis of him updating me on where the milk was hidden. But then thought we'd return to the job.
Wait. To be fair, that first gallon of milk was there for a long time. Elliot knew about it. It was on a ground level globe. You know those type of globes that you can open up that are classy and you can put alcohol inside?
Yeah, it becomes a liquor cabinet.
Yeah, we never had opened it up. So there was a gallon of milk in there for a very long time.
Yeah, and it was more of a lesson of like, you guys should utilize these beautiful accoutrements that you have in your office. Why is no one utilizing this?
I know. It was a lesson.
this
It was a
globe
true
innard?
lesson for us to learn.
Yeah.
Thank
As
you for that.
someone who
Thank
has
you.
mastered life and is like a completely responsible adult, I feel like I had a lot of lessons to teach you guys.
Then we went out to Grace and I went to a fancy sushi restaurant that
Some
was
might
too
say
fancy.
too fancy for
Too
our
uncomfortable.
taste.
Roll sushi. Did you know that? To the college?
Yeah, I do, dude. I do know that about
He's
you.
listening.
We were there, and Grace was like, I think that's Justin Bieber in the corner of the
With
restaurant.
Haley Baldwin.
With Haley Baldwin. Anyway, do you want to go hide milk in your office? And,
I felt
was
like I
"All right."
was living too bougie of a life at that
Yeah.
moment that I needed to balance the universe and go get up to Impractical Mischief.
Yeah,
And so we went and
it's
bought
her true TV show.
Well, I'd also been telling you about this prank that I heard when I was a college or a high school like legendary senior prank thing where they in my South Jersey area, it's a lot of farmland there, and so this one college had this prank that no one knows if it's real, but they put 4 sheep into the school and they labeled them 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, I wanted to
We're
hear the
chastising
song.
my son off camera.
We're shushing creativity right now.
Stunting growth.
Almost done, buddy.
You're great, and you can also make a cameo appearance if you want to sing. And this is how Grace becomes friends with children.
Sing for me.
It's silent on their end.
Yeah, and so Elliot liked that, and so we went and we bought 4 milks and labeled them 1, 2, 3, 5, along with some firewood and
Lotto tickets.
lotto tickets, which to me was a pure gift.
It was. One of them won. I think we might not have found all the lotto tickets.
We did, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Spoiler. We
Everything's
didn't find all the milks. Now you'll see where this story's going.
Yeah, they didn't find all the milks. And
It
then
went perfectly. It went perfectly. Listen to me.
I
It went
got-
perfectly. It was exactly what the Lord intended. Grace saw, she hid them everywhere, and then she was like, see if you can find them. And I was like, there. And she was like, okay, go out and I'll hide them again. So she hid them all again and then completely forgot where all of them
But
were.
no, to be fair, we all went to a bar shortly after, and I remember at the end of the night telling you, you're like, where's the last milk? And I was like, I'm really bothered by this too. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's in the ceiling somewhere.
So Joe checked everywhere in the ceiling,
looked in
and then
what
we
I
were
thought was every
It
ceiling
was the
tile.
best. It was the best. It was like orchestrated for me by the Lord.
Which,
Like,
by the way, hold up. Before you keep going, Grace, this is a microcosm of our office because this is just Trivia Bidet all over again. Nobody else was looking for the milk in the ceiling. It was only
now we're
me.
getting into
I
it.
know, yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I was like, let's let it happen.
It was only
Oh
me.
no,
Let's
I
let
kept-
nature take its course.
Every couple of days, I'd be like, "Can you please actually go look for the milk?
I was
Because
like,
I
"We've looked."
feel awful for
Yeah,
it."
no, I definitely, and then I started just convincing myself that we'd found all the milk, which we hadn't found, and I knew deep down. But and then we're filming, and Steve comes in and to the room in the middle of shooting some video, and he just goes, "Hey, it smells like legitimately something died in the podcast room." And in my head, baby.
Oh, what happened?
Sorry, it's the ghost of my karma coming back to me right
guess.
now.
Yeah, and he goes, it smells like something died. And then in my head, I was like, it's the milk. The milk is the milk has arrived. And then Lee, it takes her like another 10 seconds. I'm staying very silent, and then 10 seconds pass, and Lee just goes, maybe it's that fucking milk. And I was like, well, yeah, it could be the milk.
And,
That's a pretty good.
Turns out it's exactly the milk.
And it becomes a lot easier to discover which part of the ceiling the milk is concealed behind when there's a big stain in one of the ceiling tiles.
No, I saw he sent me a video, and I was like getting my hair done, so I couldn't watch it. But I just got an all caps text from Elliot that goes, "Grace," and then what looked like you bounced on a chair going into the ceiling, and I was like, I know it's the milk. I haven't watched the video. I already feel awful about this right now.
It was like the most representative experience for all of us, because your first instinct when you saw it was to blame yourself, because you looked at it and you were like,
I thought I looked there.
You go, I thought I checked there. Like, sorry guys, this is on me.
just a
And
pure
then
martyr.
I'm just enamored by how wonderful all this shit is. And then Steve is bursting out laughing, going, "That's hilarious!" And then Lee is,
It's legit mad.
Lee's going,
Legit mad.
legit mad. Yeah, like I can't believe.
What's funny about that video, though, is that you see me on the precipice of that couch about to fall out a window
Yep.
and from 2 stories up. And if you think about it, that's where she was.
Oh, I told you at the bar. Then
She
I
definitely
I fell hard. I was
yeah, she
very
injured
drunk.
herself very badly.
I was very drunk trying to get these milks hidden, and when you found them so quickly, I was like, I can do better. And so I re-hid them
Helbig.
all, and then came
come
back
on,
out. I was like, I just fell down. I fell off a chair, but they're all hidden.
It was like blood. I was like, cool.
Milk
Well,
gate.
yeah.
Milk
It all turned out, because it didn't explode. It was about to. It leaked just enough for us to smell it, and we got most of it out.
yes, everything turned out fine.
That-
It turns out hiding milk in people's offices is what some may call a harmless prank. No one was injured. Everything's
until
fine.
you don't get your security deposit back on your office.
Oh,
at the end of
that
it.
went away.
Yeah,
That's
All
fine.
right. Then I don't feel so bad. Okay, someone wants to know if there were any limits, budget or otherwise, what kind of video would you guys love to make?
Go ahead.
I would definitely do a film. I would do like a whole thing. I'd do a whole series, but it would be like scripted
These are
narrative
very
stuff.
vague. I would
wanna
make a
this-
movie.
Listen, there's this movie that I'm working on,
Uh-huh.
and it's with Steve, where he plays a genie, but it's the
Okay.
genie of unconscious wishes, and it's basically he grants wishes, but they're like the inner desire, like the deepest desires of the person, and that's what I want. That would be my thing, but it only needs a budget of like $15,000.
I think like
That
deep
sounds great.
down, we all came here in one way or another to make movies and
Hollywood.
More
Yeah.
scripted stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, on a big level,
Yeah.
that's it.
But I guess like if it's a straight up video, that's not really answering the question.
Is
Well,
it a
just a-
video or a movie?
Yeah, if it's a video,
I answered this when you asked before. I want to
What's the
do
difference between a video and a movie?
One's just a longer video, I suppose.
yeah, I mean, man, movies are long videos.
I kind of answered this before when Elliot brought it up. I want to make a like a Buster Keaton-esque
Ooh.
silent film, a very physical thing that is
Yeah.
choreographed and fun and kind of like a throwback and a love letter to that, but with
I think that's
in the modern
awesome.
world.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good answer, Joe. It's better than my stupid answer.
Yeah, that's really dumb. You can edit that
I'm an
out.
idiot.
Oh yeah,
Edit it
thank
out.
God. This is gonna just be Joe Beretta's on Not Too Deep.
You can crop me out. Crop it out.
Someone wants to know who wrote the "Everyone Goes to Therapy" skit.
Yeah, that was me. Why curious about that?
It's good.
I can't.
That's very sweet. Yeah.
Is that the one with Julian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just wanted to know. I can't
That's
respond to
fun.
them on these cards in real time. But
Why do you want to know? Yeah, no, I did that one. That was a good one.
Okay, what's the weirdest prompt you've ever gotten for your show? Oh.
We get serious ones a fair amount that are always kind of interesting. We don't really know how to handle those.
You guys just did an episode where it was just you guys and Steve, and I listened to that podcast episode. And it was really, because it was way more serious. And Joe, you opened up a lot about your personal life. And it was just like a really nice conversation to listen to of like 3 adult men really hearing each other for like what seemed like the first time and like supporting each other. It was just like in a world littered with toxic masculinity and all that nonsense. It was just like a very refreshing, nice thing to hear. And it feels like you guys have the ability to lean into that.
We do. It's uncomfortable because it's vulnerable. We did by your suggestion or your encouragement. We did the eye contact video.
Oh yeah,
so
I'm so excited to see it.
Point. Yeah.
Wait, what were the pairings for that?
It was me and Lee, and it was super emotional. And then it was Steve and Joe doing fart noises or something.
Oh yeah, if you guys don't know,
like,
we went for it, but it's like Steve just couldn't.
Yeah.
Well, that's also interesting and telling to watch someone avoid the emotional intimacy that comes from that. Because if you guys don't know, there's this BuzzFeed video that went out and went hugely viral years ago called 4 minutes of uninterrupted eye contact. It's supposed to like promote this new level of intimacy between strangers and people that have been married for their entire lives.
Which is us. The Valleyfolk has been married for we've been married for 6 years, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's true. But the emotional dynamics I think are really fun.
It is
I'm excited
very
to
fun.
see.
We're going to lean into it more, but it's also so like it's just too much sometimes.
Yeah, like
we know each other so well that it's like how you're saying it's like we're exactly because we don't listen to each other. We're just around each other all the time, and so podcasts like that or hearing that you rolled sushi, it's like
there's a little bit of
I should pay attention when you talk.
Yeah, we're like we have just enough we don't give a fucks, and also like don't want to worry about the edit that most things will get through the filter, and not to get too PR talky pointy bullcrap or whatever. We really do believe in like what we're trying to create this world of friendship with our audience and transparency. You get a little bit of everything, so
I think that's great.
Like we're very comfortable, I think, with putting the more like emotional shit out there.
Yeah, a lot of questions for you guys were basically about like what parts of your personal life do you decide that you're comfortable including in your online persona, presence, etc.
I mean, at this point, I don't really.
I feel like I have the biggest wall.
Yeah, you're the most, but you also have a family. Like that's a different.
That's my wall.
For me, it's like I don't. Yeah.
Well, that's a protection thing because if you put something out on the internet, you're never going to be able to take it back. So it's better, I think, to be a little bit more conservative.
Yeah, I think there's a curation that I do that I'm comfortable with most of the time, but sometimes it feels inauthentic and bothers me like on an existential level that, again, don't need a deep dive into. But for as far as my family goes, Elliot has and many other people have been like, where's your family vlog? You guys would blow up. And it's just weird to me. It's not a world I want to get into.
Right.
I don't want to make
just
a
to
choice.
clarify, I would never push him.
He doesn't push,
to do that.
but you've
But
wondered.
you are
you're
suggesting exploitation of a loving family.
Well, no, ma'am. My suggestion was like, I respect Joe as a creator and a comedian, and I believe that if he had the opportunity to like reframe the family vlog environment,
you can make it your own and be successful.
Yeah,
and he also asked if I'm not going to do it, if he could do it with my son.
And I have since.
Can you play
Jackson
Joe in the family vlog?
I do. Yeah, Heather loves it.
Godspeed to anybody that can do it. I think there's effects that can happen years down the line that people are not realizing yet.
I'm 100% with you.
I just don't feel like I should make the decision for my kids before they can
an
make
impression of a healthy father.
Yeah. Also, like, imagine just your own experience doing this for 10 years and how it messes with our heads.
Also,
like
I'm the star.
Yeah. And you hear that, Jackson?
There's only one spotlight and it's on me. Yep. Okay, and the last question before we wrap up that so many people asked in so many different ways is what's the hardest thing about starting the Valleyfolk, or the most important thing that you've learned in the last year? Because I feel like with the Sugar Pine Sevens of the world and people and like the David Dobrik's, there's a lot of kids that really want to work with their friends and want to work in the digital space with their friends. And I think it's scary for a lot of people. So has there been one primary piece of information that's really changed the way you guys work together? It's been like educational?
I've learned a lot. I think my biggest takeaway has been like, at first it was like, we're doing a business and we're going to be business people. And now I feel like a year into it, it's like, I think I was very wrong. And I think it's like, we have to actually, ironically, for the business to flourish, we have to ignore a lot of that stuff and just focus on literally hanging out and trying to make each other laugh. And so that is kind of, I think,
that has more value.
Yeah, that's more valuable than us being like,
the
what's
product.
the correct decision to make? And when we put our business hats on, I think we get a little bit in our own heads, and
That can create distance between you guys too.
Yeah, and so I think we found too, like with like live performances and stuff, and traveling together, and like being hunkered down elsewhere outside of LA, it has helped us form a bond that I think is showing in the product that we're making.
You're really pushing this get out of LA thing.
I know, it's weird, right? And so yeah, I think that would be the biggest thing. So just returning to being a troop of fun-loving weirdos is going to be the secret.
There's going to be cracks. You have to be okay with maybe it's not going to work out in the end, not just the business, but the friendships. We luckily enough had a history, I think, not just with each other, but with trying to do this industry, trying to do business, whether or not it was us owning it. We support each other's deficiencies. We also highlight each other's deficiencies.
That's such a great phrase.
But we do. Like Elliot and I work together well enough because since SourceFed, we've been honest enough to, like, on the days we piss each other off, it's literally the best marriage we have, because we immediately tell each other that fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you because. Yeah. And he says, well, fuck you because. And then we're like,
yep.
And then we move on, and it's on to the next
Sometimes,
thing.
Grace, this might shock you. I think I'm right all the time. And when I think I'm right, I can occasionally come off like an asshole. And Joe is very good about he will literally be
patient.
Like, you think you're right now? And I understand that you think you're right. You're right in many ways. However, and also, fuck you for saying that thing you said a second ago.
And we've said that to each other. I literally went, hey, fuck you. No.
Yeah.
And then we move on.
The moment that Joe and I think, became like really good friends was some kind of thing at SourceFed. We got into some bitchy fight, and it was the first like dude friendship experience I think I'd had like this, where like I walked into the editing room. He was like laying on the floor doing like, just being whatever. And I was like, hey man, I was like, I'm sorry about that. And he was like, yeah, I'm sorry about that too. I was like, okay.
We just moved on.
I was like, we good? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh.
Whoa.
Cool. And it's been like that ever since, with very intense conversations, sporadically.
It's scary. I don't know. Yeah. I think it can work. I think we've been lucky so far. I think our situation is unique, and I don't want to dismiss that, in the sense that our foundation is created by a bunch of very, very generous people that have given us a financial backing that lets us take dumb risks.
Sure.
Yes.
And that is different from just going into a garage with your friends with no financial backing and making huge life decisions.
Yeah.
I think that shit tears people apart way quicker.
It gave us a kind of, like a mental freedom to be like we can net. Be,
Yeah,
we're doing the small business stuff all wrong. Like all of our decisions, if you were a business major, you'd be like, how is this working? You shouldn't be doing what you're doing.
Well, that's good. You don't know your limitations.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
I don't know what my advice is. Tread carefully, try to have fun. There's some idealistic bullcrap.
That's nice.
Yeah, I think the most cliche things sometimes are the most helpful reminders for people.
Don't do YouTube.
Study accounting or finance or something. Thank you guys so much for making time.
Thanks for
Before
having
you
us.
go,
Thank you, Grace.
Everyone of the guests on the podcast get a personalized fortune cookie from us.
It's personalized?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Here you
Jokes.
go.
Hey, Jackson, you want to open a fortune cookie?
Do you want to open it?
Come here.
It's pretty cool. And I wouldn't eat them because they might be kind of stale.
Come here.
But they technically are edible.
You don't want to come?
Thank
you.
What did
I
you
like
say?
the way you negotiate.
Now you come over here.
I got opened on camera. Do you want to do it? Or do you just want to eat it when I'm done?
We have an extra one that you can have. When
Okay.
you're okay.
When you're done.
He knows his
he's
limits.
a businessman.
Let me know when you're done.
He's nobody's prop.
No, he's not gonna be exploited.
Cool.
This is like a wet. This cookie's real wet,
I
Grace.
mean, should judge it in your head.
Is this supposed to tear open?
It's been raining in LA.
Oh, it is. It's moist.
Well, thank you.
Where are you keeping these fortune cookies?
All right. I'm unfolding mine. Here we go.
Do you guys do a thing where you have to say something at like the end of the phrase?
No, not an in-bed situation.
Okay. Okay. Yes, that was us.
What does it say?
Mine says, "Yo, Vegas."
And mine's a paragraph.
Yeah, yours is a novel.
If you do a really good impression of Grace right now, we'll officially declare you the better guest over Elliot for Tuesday's episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
Check it.
Today's episode. Did you say Tuesdays? Did your brain put today's episode?
For today's episode.
Read it all over again. Just start from the top. We'll do it
If you
again.
do a really good impression of Grace right now, we'll officially declare you the better guest over Elliot for Tuesday's episode.
Perfect.
Well,
That's exactly it. And
let's see what you got.
You don't have to, because you can just declare Elliot the better guest.
I don't like
No,
being put
no,
on
I
the spot.
definitely was not the better guest in this. It's very sweet.
No. Okay. Thank you for watching and listening to this episode of Not Too Deep. We'll see you guys next week. Goodbye. Thank
Do you guys have a shower here?
Too deep, too deep, too deep. Not too deep.
With Grace Helbig.
Not Too Deep is a production of Grace Helbig Incorporated, producer and edited by Melissa D. Montz, writing by Diane Kang, production assistance by Katrina Henning, post-production sound by Christopher Bell, and an extra special thanks to Flula for the theme music.